Hello everyone, how's it going? It's me, Goose. Today is Friday, and by the time you're watching this, I'm probably on an airplane right now going to my new home, so that's fun. So yeah, that's something I needed to mention before we start this video off, today's Q. I just wanted to mention, yeah, I'm moving right now, so the schedule might be fucked up next week. I don't know, it all depends on whether or not I have videos available for next week, but we'll see. I don't think I'm going to take any Qs today because I'm kind of constricted on time, so I can't really do that. Also, next week probably will be the same situation. I'm probably going to do a Q, but without the questions, so sorry about that. You can still leave questions, it's just I won't answer them next week, so yeah. One other thing I wanted to mention was I was supposed to make a Cuphead video, and the whole journalist thing about, you know, Cuphead, is it too hard? And it was a whole discussion about difficulties in video games. However, everybody seems to be doing that subject now, and they all seem to have the same shit to say. So right now I'm holding off on that until I can come up with something better. I saw one of my subscribers complained about the Rick and Morty episode that came out this week, and they said like how I basically sounded the same as everyone else, and it was pretty disappointing as a video, and I took that to heart. I was like, alright, I should fucking take this seriously. I gotta do better next time. So I didn't want to rush this Cuphead thing. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it better than everyone else, and I'm gonna do it damn fine. Alright, so it's not gonna come out this week, probably not even next week. We'll see. Maybe when the fire dies down, there'll be more interest in, you know, the subject of Cuphead and difficulty and journalism, but we'll see. Today's video, however, is more focused on Overwatch, and not really Overwatch, but the issue of loot boxes in general, because that's also a popular subject going on ever since last week's Battlefront beta, because I don't know if that was the first time that we found out that Battlefront 2 was going to have loot boxes, but it sure seemed like a lot of people were surprised. If not, we were really disappointed. So the issue with that thing, if you haven't heard, was that Battlefront 2 includes loot crates. Now that's an issue of itself. Loot crates have been oversaturated for such a long time that, well, not even a long time, it's a fairly new concept that just exploded, and I know where that explosion came from, read the fucking title. But aside from that, the issue wasn't even that there were loot crates. That's exhausting in itself. The real issue was that it was blatantly pay to win. Not really like, oh, if you get this loot crate, you'll fucking win every single game, or you'll get this legendary item that nobody can get. Not even to that extent. It's more subtle. It's more like, if you win this card, or whatever the fuck, I think they're cards, right? If you win this card, you'll get a 5% bonus, or I actually read some of them. One of them was like a 25% recharge reducer or whatever. Like the recharge time was reduced by 25%, and that's a lot. And there's a lot of people who don't have that. I only had the 5% one, but I'm damn sure that the people I played in the beta had like the better ones. They played way more than I have. They have better equipment. They have better cards. So it's very blatant pay to win. And it's not like, of course, you can just get the loot crates for free. And that's what a lot of businesses, a lot of game companies love to pull out of their asses like a magical rabbit out of a hat. They're like, hey, it's not pay to win. Anybody can get a loot crate. It's kind of how they get away with it, away from the controversy. I don't know if Battlefront 2 or the creators of it, EA Games, whoever the fuck made it, I'm pretty sure they came out with a statement either now or in the future that'll just say, dear fans of Star Wars Battlefront, don't worry, it's not going to be that bad, because anybody can get a loot crate. I swear to God, if that has happened, it will happen if it hasn't. It's so baffling and so frustrating to see. And I think it's even funnier that this controversy came out now, because there has been just an influx, just a huge increase of loot crates, especially this month. If I'm not mistaken, Forza Motorsports, they have loot crates. A fucking car game has loot crates. Fucking NBA Jam or NBA Jam, the new NBA game, that shit has loot crates. Shadows of War, it's a game that's just single player. I mean, there is some faux multiplayer stuff here and there, but it is a single player heavy game, and that has loot crates. You know what all those games have in common? They came out within the same fucking month. They're not that far apart from each other, and so when Battlefront came out, it blindsided us with this loot crate thing, and it got people fucking pissed, not only because, you know, it's loot crates, but also because it's a pay to win thing. You can't get away from it. I know they're free. I know you can earn a loot crate, but it's the same shit. So where did this explosion come from? Well, read the title. Overwatch, right? Overwatch, it didn't invent microtransactions. Let's get that out of the way. And also, let's get out of the way, it didn't invent loot crates. It's been there for a long time. It's been there since Team Fortress 2. And that came out fucking 2009? But yeah, they updated it. It didn't always have loot crates. They updated it so it had loot crates and then whatever. So why is it that Overwatch is special? Why is it that microtransactions existing for such a long time is now a bigger issue now than it was before? Because keep in mind, microtransactions have been existing since free-to-play games have existed. So that's, what, 2006, maybe even earlier? You know, all those Korean, Chinese, bootleg, free-to-play games, all of those had microtransactions. The issue started when microtransactions went from being exclusively in free-to-play games or mobile games to transferring over to AAA games. I can't tell you the source of when a AAA game had microtransactions in them. I don't know where it started, but I remember the biggest controversy happened when Dead Space 3 introduced microtransactions, and I'm sure there were other previously recorded instances of a AAA game having microtransactions, but I remember it being very confusing for those people who had Dead Space 3, because those microtransactions included just cosmetic stuff like getting new armor or getting new parts for your gun, and it was just such a weird thing that everybody hated it, but it continued to snowball from there. The controversy was large at the time, but nowadays it's becoming the norm and people are just sick of it and they just don't care anymore. Microtransactions exist in mostly every game now that comes out. Even in Nintendo games, there are certain microtransactions you have to make in order to enjoy the game fully, and it's a weird thing that we've accepted. DLC used to be a huge issue. I remember when the Xbox 360 came out and the introduction of DLC had people kind of miffed. Like they were like, what the fuck is this? I have to pay extra for a game? And remember there was a controversy with Street Fighter where all the assets were in the game except you had to buy them to unlock them. I believe that was Street Fighter Cross Tekken, where everything was in the game already. You just needed to unlock it by just buying the shit. That shit was controversial back then. Not really nowadays. People seem to understand why that's a thing. So we've grown accustomed to microtransactions being in games. Nowadays, it has evolved from microtransactions to loot crates. And again, Team Fortress 2 had them, but the thing that separates Team Fortress 2 and any other game that came out that also had loot crates, with Overwatch's loot crates, is that Overwatch treated its loot crates very differently than Team Fortress 2. Team Fortress 2, you had to get two things: a crate and a key. To acquire the crate or the box or whatever you want to call it, you either had to play the game a ton or you just bought it off of the market. But the thing is about the key is that you just had to straight up buy them. And that's the thing that makes Overwatch different. You don't need a key to buy a crate. And similarly, you always know when you're gonna get a crate. When you level up in Overwatch, you will get a crate. And those crates, no matter what it is, be it a Halloween crate as it is now, a summer box crate, or just a regular loot crate, it will sometimes have a chance of opening up a legendary. And that's the same with Team Fortress and CSGO, right? But the thing is, you get multiple chances, so it makes you think that you have a better chance to win. But the thing is, Overwatch has 22 characters. I think last time I checked, I'm sure there's way more. I mean, I haven't played the game in a year, but it has over 20 characters, as opposed to Team Fortress 2 that has like, what, 9 characters? The chances may be greater, but there are far more rewards to expect. So they treated the loot crate thing like opening up a booster pack. So instead of getting one thing, you know, one hat or one weapon or whatever, you would get 5 things, be it a spray, a taunt, voice clip, or of course the costumes that everybody wanted. And that's the thing with Team Fortress 2. You always had to play the game to get a loot crate. It was a random chance. It never told you when and if you ever were going to get a loot crate. And also, you sometimes just got items out of nowhere randomly. So that was the major issue with the whole loot crates and items with Team Fortress 2. It was so random. You never knew what you were going to get. And if you wanted to get that thing, you had to buy it with real world money. As opposed to Overwatch, Overwatch gave the players more control. They can open any loot crates they want. They can buy a loot crate if they want. If they don't want to, then they have an in-game currency to just buy any costume or spray or whatever. And it was easy to get. Well, quote unquote, easy to get. As long as you're a consecutive player and you do well. And honestly, leveling up in Overwatch isn't the hardest thing in the world. It's like 3 or 4 games and you level up instantly. It's not that hard and you always get a loot crate. The thing is, there were dupes. Dupes are so cartoonishly evil that it's kind of bananas that we let them slide with that. If you don't know what dupes are, it's just duplicates. You get the same shit over and over again. See, the thing is, with duplicates, it lessens the chance of getting that legendary item, but also, you get a lot of things. So it's like, you still get an equal chance to win that legendary item, but not really. Also, with dupes, you can't fucking do anything with them. You just get money. But you don't get real world money to buy another loot crate or anything. You just get the in-game currency money, and that's shit. You really don't want that. It may give you like 200 gold coins. Oh shit, that's great. I can buy a spray. I got this epic costume that I already had. Now it gave me 200 gold coins or whatever it's called in Overwatch. Now I can buy another spray. Awesome. Wow, amazing. See, in Team Fortress 2, if you got a dupe, at least you could fucking sell it. You can sell that shit on the market, and those things go for hundreds of bucks, sometimes even fucking thousands. So that was an exciting thing to always get in Team Fortress 2. In Overwatch, it wasn't honestly that great, but they got away with it, and so began this whole trend of doing loot crates, because wow, if Blizzard was super successful about this, and if Hearthstone is doing even better with it, with the whole card packs thing, then maybe if we did it, it'd be even better. See, the whole thing is that I know people are going to mention Hearthstone. Hearthstone has essentially the same kind of system that Overwatch had. It's not loot crates, they're card packs, they're booster packs. They come with a ton of different cards. The thing is though, Hearthstone is a free-to-play game. You can just buy them if you want. That's the way it supports itself, and it supports itself really fucking well. The thing about Overwatch though, it's a $40 game, or is it $30 on the PC? I know it's just $60 on the consoles. It's a lot. It's quite a lot. You have to pay money for it. But the fact is, other companies saw that we were accepting the fact that we can do loot crates and microtransactions in that game while also paying for it. And so they thought to themselves, well, if that's what the consumers want and if that's where all the hot money is going to, then we're gonna do it now, because now it seems acceptable. And so I think Overwatch, while I don't know if it's the main source of the issue, I think this was going to happen either way, without Blizzard or with Blizzard. You know, without their influence or not, I'm pretty sure this is where the market was going. The thing is, Overwatch made it more acceptable. It made it the norm, I guess. We were still mad about dupes. We're still mad about the issues and the limited time crates that you can only get once a year. By the way, that Halloween crate, once a year. It's not going to happen again next year. Maybe it will. But yeah, it really helped solidify that this is where the market is going. And so loot crates just kept popping up everywhere, except the funny thing is about these video games, the new ones that are coming out, a lot of people don't really like calling them loot crates, it seems. Not from what I've seen. They don't call it loot crates, they call it loot boxes or golden chests or chest of wonder or whatever. They try to work around it because they still seem like they're ashamed of it. They don't like what they're doing. Like they feel icky themselves doing it. And the thing is though, Overwatch focused on a lot of things. Like I said, the costumes and the sprays, those were all found within a loot crate. It seems like nobody really understands why we liked it in Overwatch as opposed to other games. So when we open up loot crates in other games, like in Battlefield 1 for example, that has loot crates, right? When you open it, you just get like a gun or something, and it's fucking stupid. It's not as exciting. Or let's take, for example, the new game, the fucking Battlefront 2. That also has multiple items, but they're all boosters. They're all like, hey, 25% off your recharge time, or this gun fires faster, and it's not satisfying. You're not doing much. You don't see progress with that. At least with Overwatch, you see your costume, you look fucking fine, you feel fucking fine. In games like Battlefront 2, that shit's egregious. It feels like this is a necessity to actually be good at the game, when in reality it was always about the cosmetics. And then we get to NBA. I don't know what they're doing, but I feel like their controversial shit is they have overpriced in-game shit. So I think I don't know the currency in the game, but let's take, for example, haircuts. I know that was a piece of shit. If there was like 30,000 NBA Jam coins, right, that you needed to change your haircut to this haircut, right? If you needed 30,000 and every game you played, either online or offline, single player or not, if every game you played was like 500 coins for just winning the game, fuck, man, you're gonna be doing that for hours and hours and fucking hours. It's gonna be terrible. But there's a loot crate, there's a possibility you could get a haircut. It's so overdone, and it's actually hurting the games market. There will be a crash if this continues. I have no doubt in my mind. If this continues, it's going to be bad. It's going to be terrible. But is it Overwatch's fault? I don't know. Because like I said, I'm sure without Overwatch, this was where it was going to go regardless. I'm sure that's how it was going to go. It's just that I guess if you wanted to point fingers, you can point it at Overwatch, but I just don't know. I just don't think so. I guess in reality, you can just blame it on AAA game developers and companies that are just so filthy and money hungry. Oh god, it's going to be bad. If this continues, it's going to be actually terrible. But hey, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Like I said, I'm not going to take any cues this week. I gotta move. I gotta fucking bounce. Right now, I'm on an airplane, and I am fucking terrified because I've never been on a plane before. At least I haven't been on a plane since like I was 8 years old. So I don't know how the fuck it's like anymore. And that was like pre 9/11. So I don't know how the fuck this shit's gonna go. But yeah, hopefully I make it safe. Hopefully I can get shit set up. I hope also that I can have a video or 2 or maybe 3 if I'm lucky ready by next week, but I doubt that my setup is going to be good by then. We'll just have to see. So thank you all so very much for watching. I'll see you all next time. Leave your cues down below. I'll answer them when I can. All right, I love y'all. Take care.